let's bring our buddy Larry Krueger in, who, of course, will be along with Lo Neal, the guys who walk you up to kickoff right here on 95.7 The Game. And Lair, on the Boxer and Gerson guest line, I want to start with the finish because you were resonating in my head during that game on Saturday night. You had said 24-13, 24-17. It was going to be close. I hated that. I didn't want to believe it. You were absolutely right. So I don't want to hear you say it again. Larry, don't say it again.
My guys.
Yeah.
Larry.
Is it going to be close again?
I feel good. I feel good this week about maybe a little bit more separation. I think the Lions are tremendous, but I just think the 49ers had, Brock Purdy doesn't have two bad games back to back. One of the best articles, guys, that's out there on this Niner thing, and I've read, all day, a bunch of stories, is Kyle Madsen, our buddy Madsen, who wrote 3 reasons for optimism for the Niners in the championship game. And go check it out. It's on Niners Wire, usatoday.com. And one of them, he says that, Brock, and he's right, Brock Purdy doesn't really have 2 bad games in a row. And, the last time he had a quarterback rating of 86.7 or worse, he came back the next week with 124.7 rating. So, he does tend to bounce back. I think that's true, and I think he will. I think they're going to play well and beat the Lions.
How much of that do you think is predicated on the weather? And the bad weather clearly got to Brock last week. He had the glove on, and the glove came off. It was rainy. It was difficult. He struggled. Looks like the forecast is for mid-60s at the kick, a little bit cooler after that, but no rain. Is the weather as much of an indicator for Brock that he'll play well?
I think there's no question at this point that we have enough evidence that shows that he doesn't play particularly well with a wet ball. Heck, we saw something last week that we've never seen before, and that's a guy rubbing his pants when the ball is still in his, he's already taken the snap and he's trying to dry off his hand. I mean, I think that speaks loudly about how he deals with the wet conditions. But I just expect he's going to play well because, the Lions are 27th in passing yards, and I think they've got 2 corners that I don't think are going to be able to stand up. And I think he'll bounce back in drier conditions. He looked, to me, if there was the number one thing that, when I asked him about it this week, he said, I made that throw to Savage, and I was tentative after that and late on the checkdowns. And, that's very honest. It's candid, but I think he's also right on the money.
You know what? That comment, I'm glad you brought that up, Larry. Larry Krueger joining us on Willard and Dibs because, in a way, that made me a little bit uncomfortable because it's the second time that he's admitted that a mistake in the game will kind of shake his emotions. And I think we hear from a lot of teammates that's not what happens. Like, Brock is going to be aggressive no matter what. But, he mentioned in the Ravens game, like, yeah, man, I don't want to keep throwing interceptions. So those were on my mind. Same thing here. Like, is that a concern for you that Brock's confidence can still get shaken in such a way?
No, I don't think. I think you're misreading that. I don't think it's his confidence. I think it's just kind of when you play that position, there's a rhythm to the whole thing, and it's not just all success. And sometimes they beat you. Sometimes you feel like they're reading your mail, that you need to make adjustments. It's no different than like a baseball game where you make adjustments to the pitcher. So I think that's what that's about. To me, the guy comes across as very confident. Every guy in that room believes that he's going to, win games. The guy's 17-5 or whatever it is, 3-1 in the playoffs. He's had a lot of success, and the guys believe in him. But it is interesting. I think more than anything, Mark, he's just introspective.
How do you feel about the Niners' ability to run the ball? I know the Lions' run defense is their strength, and Christian McCaffrey may or may not be still nursing that injury that kind of nagged him for the last month or so of the year. Do you think the Niners can get back to establishing some ground attack, Larry?
Well, they're absolutely going to have to. The thing about it, Dibs, that's really kind of scary is that the Niners want to run on first down typically with McCaffrey, and Detroit's the number 1 run defense in the league on first down. They give up 3.3 yards on first down. And so it's a really huge challenge Do you run against the number one run D on first down, or do you try to mix it up and come back with the run on second down and try to maybe take them out of their normal rhythm? So I think that's one of those the game within the game that we're going to see in the first quarter.
Larry, talk to us about the edge rushers of the 49ers. The strength of the Lions' offensive line are their tackles. And so these matchups that Bosa and Young and others will be facing throughout the game is high-level stuff. How do you break it down?
Well, I think it's going to be, Penei Sewell's a phenomenal offensive tackle, maybe the best right tackle in a long time. And so he's really dominant. He's 6'6", he's 330. He's awesome, but he's better in the run game. Taylor Decker, Buckeye, Bosa's watched him for years. We talked about it earlier this week. Those guys are the strength. Ragnow's banged up. He's a terrific center. I mean, he's as good as any in the league, but he's got two different injuries. He didn't practice a lot this week. Jonah Jackson had been their left guard, and he was really talented. Now they're going to a really raw kid, Coyote Awasika, and he hasn't played a lot. And Glasgow inside and Ragnow and Awasika. I think if you're the 49ers, you have to find a way to challenge Goff in the A-gap, mostly because he doesn't move well laterally. And I think that's pressuring him in the A-gap all night or all afternoon. I think is going to be a big part of the game plan, I would imagine. Is
it Armstead and Hargrave, or can Javon Kinlaw finally start to live up to his first-round billing?
Yeah, I mean, Dibs, I think it's just all hands on deck. I mean, at this point, Sebastian Joseph Day played more snaps, I believe, last week than Kinlaw, so they kind of went to Sebastian Joseph Day, who's a little bit more explosive, but Kinlaw is way stronger. And I think I would put my money more on Kinlaw just being able to bull rush and impact the quarterback. Some guys are not going to get there. I mean, the 49ers are having a hard time sacking the quarterback. Bosa hasn't sacked the quarterback in the playoffs in quite a while now. He needs to have a huge day. Goff needs to feel the 49er defensive line in this game, or this is going to be a really rough game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We've said that a couple of times on this one. But Larry, give us a little bit more of an umbrella view here, because I think that everyone who's watching 49ers games is looking at that defensive line and going, okay, not a lot of sacks. I get that there's some pressures and hits. The production is not what we thought it was going to be. What do you see? Is something wrong?
Well, I mean, first of all, Chase Young has a big name, and he's not the player that he was when he first came into the league and when he was at Ohio State. So even though he's got a big name and may command some significant money if he has a big couple games here, but to this point, he has just been a decent edge setter and kind of a try-hard guy. But a lot of that special edge quickness I don't see. Gregory, I think I do see a lot more speed, but they're just not getting home. Beal is probably the fastest edge rusher they got. You're right. I mean, I think one of the things we're seeing is that, there's reasons for this. Teams are leaving backs in to chip the ends pretty consistently. They're leaving extra guys in to block this front four. I don't think Detroit will, though, because Detroit's got a good enough line where they won't need to. But, I mean, the 49er defensive line, if it gets dominated in this game, there's a lot of guys with big reps and big names there. They get dominated in this game, and it's going to be very difficult to win. So, Gregory, Kinlaw, Givens, Beal, all their second-team guys are all going to matter in this game. So their D-line's got to play, and they've got to maybe use Warner and Greenlaw to kind of dictate the tempo to Goff at times.
Third lowest blitz rate for Steve Wilkes in the National Football League, so I wonder if he gets away from that, as you're indicating, and brings a fifth if it's Fred Warner or somebody else. What's your concern level with Ambry Thomas playing with the bad hand and really struggled against Green Bay?
I'm not concerned. I mean, I think Ambry is going to bounce back. I mean, he had a real bad moment there where he lost his poise with the ball in the air. I mean, he did the one thing that you just can't do, right? You can't wrap the guy up, and that's what he did. He wrapped the guy up. So I'm sure he'll watch it. He's got some really good traits. I mean, he's fast, he's long-armed, he's athletic. He might be their best athlete on the corner, and he's tough, and he'll hit. So they're going to need it in this game. Ambry, I think, is going to help them this week because I think he's real physical against the run, and Montgomery is a horse.
The skill position player on the Lions offense who scares you the most is?
Jahmyr Gibbs. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is a great player, and he's super explosive, and he can beat you as a runner. He gets yards after contact. He can beat you as a receiver. He's dynamic. He's one of the most dynamic players in the league. He was a great pick. And they a lot of people said they reached for him, but they took him in the first round. He's an explosive runner, receiver. I mean, there's McCaffrey, but Gibbs is terrific.
I'm surprised you didn't say Amon-Ra, considering he'll be in the slot and a real handful there. Is it because you think Diamond Lenore can handle him there, Larry?
No, it's just because I just had to pick between aces. I mean, to be completely honest, guys, this is why. I mean, I kind of look at this like the '84 Bears came to Candlestick and the Niners shut them out 23-0, and then in '85 the Bears were like unbelievable. That's what I really see with this Lions team. The next year Lions are going to be crazy good, but they're a year ahead of schedule, and they're going to be tough to beat here. They're rugged, but they don't have great corners. They have weaknesses to their game, and I think the 49ers are going to be able to do a lot offensively. And score a lot of points.
Yeah, Larry Krueger with us. Do you buy into the labels on the coaches, which is that Kyle Shanahan in the playoffs skews too conservative, Dan Campbell skews maybe too reckless? Do you buy into those, and how do those affect this game?
That's an awesome question, Mark, because, you're totally right. I mean, Campbell goes for it all the time on fourth down. Shanahan is like third lowest rate at going for it in the NFL. So he's much more conservative. I don't know. That's a hard thing to evaluate. The one thing that's nice is that they tend to get touchdowns in the red zone under Purdy, and they don't settle for field goals nearly as much as they did with Jimmy. That's a good thing. But, that's going to be a key factor. There's no question.
Well, let's have it, Larry. Enough beating around the bush and handing out accolades to my partner.
Yep.
Score prediction. You were so close against Green Bay. What do you think, Larry? What's the final? How much are we going to celebrate, or are we?
That's a great question,
That's
Gibbs.
better. That's much better.
You like that?
Yeah, I mean, you told him it was an awesome question.
It was.
It was a question, and it was awesome that he asked it. But give me the
makes it an awesome
here.
question.
Yeah, it hurts, Larry. That would hurt me.
I mean, your question was a question.
Thank you. Mediocre at best.
But then I follow Mark on Twitter sometimes, and he's so negative when he talks about the Giants.
Yeah, I've had it. I've had it up to here, Larry. I've had it.
I wish you would be more positive like the rest of us.
Well, I'm trying, but it's Friday, and so I got to just spill my best material out right now.
I'm going Niners 31-20. I think it's going to be like a 31-13 game, and then the Lions are going to get a touchdown late. The scary part is the same way Dallas had Irvin and Emmett and Novacek and those guys. I mean, they were, great trio of weapons. This team with Laporta, Amon-Ra, and then the combo of Montgomery and Gibbs. I mean, this is an awesome group of weapons, but I think they'll pressure Goff and he'll make some mistakes.
Hey, before you go, that safety position, Jair Brown, are we going to see more of him or still Logan Ryan?
You know what? I wanted to ask this question at the press conference like this. Steve, Jair Brown's got to play. Agree? ...
Right?
Right? We're on the same page, right? But I had to ask it a little bit more respectfully, and I did say, what are you doing? I mean, I mentioned the fact that...
That's so much more respectful, Larry. Hey, Steve, what are you doing out there? I was watching.
What would you say you do?
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing? No, that was Brock Purdy to Ray Ray.
Right.
This, Steve doesn't want to be disrespectful to the veteran, but I said, obviously, Logan Ryan was not good against the run, and you had the long 53-yard run. Are you going to consider going back to Brown? And he was non-committal, saying that it'll be decided later in the week. But he also mentioned starting. So I think you go with Jair Brown. I mean, this is a 225-pound running back who's a horse to bring down, and he's great at. And Gibbs is no picnic. You need all good run defenders on hand. So there's no question. Jair Brown can hit you like a linebacker. Logan Ryan is a great cover guy. This is the way I'd play it. I'd go with Jair in the first half, and then if the game becomes one-sided and Goff's got to come back, then you trot Logan Ryan in there a little bit more and use him in his coverage ability against the pass.
Do you sense that they have a reluctance to play rookies in general, Larry, in these spots?
That's a great question because,
no, it's not.
Jalen, no, it really is. Like, Jalen Graham someday is going to be fantastic. And people are going to be like, Jalen Graham was on that team? He barely ever played. That's amazing. He's going to be really good. So, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think they've been conservative in certain spots. But, I mean, what are you going to argue with Shanahan at this point? I mean, they're in their 4th NFC Championship in the last 5 years.
Larry, ask us anything.
Are you guys going to be in Vegas?
It's a great question, Larry.
It's a great question.
It's an awesome question, actually.
I'm going to be in Vegas, and I'm buying you guys drinks.
Wait a minute. Are you there either way, or like a crazy person?
Well, no, I'm not going to be there if the Lions are playing the Chiefs.
Well, gee, that's
at that point, I'll probably just enjoy my family.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty presumptuous way to answer. Like, I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm like, my God.
I'm planning on winning. I'm planning on watching the Niners win on Sunday.
All right, fine.
Be confident, guys. Be confident. Think positively.
All right, so then ask again. Ask again if we're going to be in Vegas. Let's go. Ask me again.
Well, if we're in Vegas, we gotta hook up and hang out and drink some beers and tear it up.
Yeah,
that's not what I said. I said ask me if I'm going to be in Vegas because I'm not going to Vegas. But anyway,
I'll be there, Larry. No doubt.
I wish I was going to be there.
You're known well in Vegas.
Well, yeah, might be why I'm not going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, Larry.
Right? Yeah.
Great questions, bud. Great answers too.
I think the other day I stayed at a place, or last time I went there, I stayed at the Mark Willard Suite. It was a really nice place.
And they spell that S-W-E-E-T, brother. Hey,
Sweet.
Hey, who's getting donuts? I bet Dibs. He's got to get me donuts if any of these 4 players are Giants on opening day. Any of them.
This should be good.
All I need is one of these. All I need is one of them.
Okay, let's hear it. It should be a great all-star list here.
Corbin Burns of the Brewers.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Cody Bellinger.
Mary, San Mateo, Moraga, right?
Cody Bellinger.
Gotta have Cody Bellinger.
Blake Snell.
I don't know about Blake Snell. That's going to cost a lot, but he would be nice, but I don't see that. I don't see that.
Or Matt Chapman. If any one of those 4 are Giants on opening day, he's got to get donuts. If none of them are, then I do. Who's getting donuts?
Oh, did you say who you're betting on? They are going to do it.
He's betting on Farhan. I bet they don't.
Well, you know what? God, everybody knows I'm an eternal optimist.
Oh,
so,
you're known for it.
Your Twitter handle is @EternalOptimist.
Yeah, in fact, I'm changing the Krug Show from the Krug Show to the Optimist Krug Show. It's going to be really good. You're going to love the second channel.
Perfect.
No, okay. I don't know. I can't answer, Mark. It's too much pressure. There's too much pressure.
Wow.
Stop ducking us.
No.
Yeah, the bailout.
They'll get Chapman. At the worst thing, the worst they'll do is Chapman. But here's the bottom line on that. Casey Schmidt, I talked to him for an hour 3 weeks ago.
Whoop.
Totally.
No, you didn't. Hold on. Stop right there. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not. What did you guys get? Coffee? You went and got nachos together? You talked to Casey Schmidt for an absolute hour. This is a real statement you're making?
Well, it's not just a real statement, Mark. It's actually a YouTube live stream that people can go watch.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And it's no less than an hour.
It was longer than an hour.
And was anybody else there talking to him, or were you solos? Just you and Casey sitting in a tree?
Like the great Dan Cochimilio, who has the NorCal Sports Network YouTube channel.
I know who you're talking about.
Great Dan Cochimilio was there as well.
Okay.
And it was really good. And one of Dan's sidekicks on the show was there as well. And we just hung out with Casey and I don't know how Danny booked him, but he booked him, and we hung out, we talked ball, and I think he's good, and I think that a lot of people think that he's not a good enough offensively. I wouldn't want to see the Giants spend $150 million on Matt Chapman when you have a younger, healthier, Casey Schmidt sitting right there. I'd say it's like 50-50 that Schmidt will have better numbers than Chapman. So, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather see them go with Cody Bellinger or Jorge Soler. How nice would Jorge Soler be with the Giants?
Really nice.
Right-handed power hitter, 35 jacks. He would be nice.
Not getting him either.
Would you still say that if Casey hadn't come on your show?
No, I'm a
great question, Mark.
Guy, man. Look at Willard with these probing questions.
Well, listen.
That would have been a perfect time for, that's a great question.
Yeah, I asked the tough ones.
That was not a great question. That was just probing crap. That was bottom feeder.
No, it was a court. It was a.
You're better than that.
It was a courtroom question, is what it was.
It was leading, is what it was.
Yeah, when I was sick this week, I watched A Few Good Men. So I'm in the I'm in the mood to lead the witness right now.
You don't have to answer that, Larry.
You want the truth?
I do.
Totally.
I do. And I think the truth is.
So Casey has ability, guys. He's got a great glove. Think about it this way. How many young guys have you ever seen in your entire life who played third base and were really good at third base, just asked in their rookie season, oh, hey, by the way, play shortstop every day?
We get it. He came on your show. We get it.
No, but that was a tall ask, and his bat suffered. But you know what? That guy was a good hitter in the minors. He'll figure it out. That's a good young player. That's like they hit on him. He just
sounds like you're hitting on him.
All come together.
Yeah. Oh my God,
that's a four.
They need Matt Chapman. They don't. I could see the Giants signing Matt Chapman and having it being like an Evan Longoria Part 2 situation.
Don't miss Larry's YouTube channel where he books you and then he praises you. Can
we go back to talking about the NFC title game now?
Seriously.
Sure.
All right.
Good.
Thanks. No. We're going to do it without you.
Drags this. See, anytime Dibs is in the room, it drags back to baseball.
Yeah, I know.
That's me, Larry.
I know.
I'm a Giants fan. There you go.
Thank you, Larry. Have fun.
Thanks, guys. Good to talk to you.
Okay. Bye, Larry.